It's so funny. I see people's designs. I've seen so many of them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that design. It's so funny. I forget people's names all the time, but their design I remember.
Like, oh, I know you.
I know. It's very funny. After doing it enough, that's what's happening to my brain. But
it's Retreat and Grow Rich, the podcast. I'm Darla LeDoux, best-selling author, coach, and retreat leader. And I'm on a mission to normalize transformation on the planet, one intimate retreat at a time. This show's dedicated to the coaches, consultants, healers, leaders, and light workers who are here to hold space for the truth that transforms lives and get paid for it. Expert retreat and business tips, strategies, stories, and magic. It's your weekly mini retreat delivered right to your ears. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Retreat and Grow Rich podcast. I am super excited for this episode. I'm here with Kris Prochaska. She is an amazing business coach. She also is a human design expert. And, we'll dive into what that is if you don't know. But I first just want to share that understanding human design changed my life. And I'll give a short little snippet of that just to frame it up, which is I was, picture it, in a retreat, standing in front of the room at my mastermind retreat, crying because I had no idea what I wanted in life. I had built my business to about 200,000. And I worked at home in my slippers and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I had to say what I wanted and how these people could help me get there. And I had no idea what I wanted, just none. And I was paralyzed. And that's when someone recommended human design for me. And maybe at some point in this interview, my insight will come up and it'll be relevant. But it was recommended at just the right moment. And I learned about myself, why it was I was standing there crying, like what it was I was missing. So, and I continue to use it to guide decisions all the time. Yeah. So I'm just thrilled. Kris is amazing. I've had the pleasure of getting to know her over the years and just highly recommend her. And let me just share her bio, first of all. She has 20 plus years of combined experience as a therapist and business consultant. And that helps her laser right to the root of an issue and provide her clients effective and practical solutions. Maybe it's because she prefers cowboy boots to heels, but she's been described as an intuitive sharpshooter who knows exactly what an individual or company needs to eliminate and do more of in order to bring them into alignment with their greater purpose, authority, productivity, and profit. Her 2015 TED Talk has over 100,000 views. And while she spoke about how to get your kids to listen and engage, the principles hold true in business as well. Kris is also a TEDx speaking coach and the author of Life Well Spoken, Free Your Inner Voice and Prosper. And she can be found at krisprochaska.com. Welcome, Kris.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh.
I remember when you bought your first cowboy boots.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, my first ones were in 8th or 9th grade, but then when you and I were
first expensive cowboy boots.
Exactly. My first really nice ones. Yeah. That was awesome. I still have those. Those you don't get rid of.
Amazing. I was in Texas recently. I think you saw my post where we tried on some really nice boots. I didn't buy them, but we're considering a trip back to this custom boot shop.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely. There's something about them. You just, you got a little different attitude and you got your shit kickers on.
I like it. I love it.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I always love to hear your story. Like how did you become the expert in human design and have this passion for business? What brought you here?
Yeah, well, I have to thank you for that in a huge way because we were working together and I was transitioning out of having a psychotherapy practice, moving more into doing coaching. And one of the big ahas that I had around that time was, we cannot make someone all right by focusing on what's wrong, which is what people were coming to me for as a therapist, right? I was trained in diagnosing what's wrong and then helping people to fix it. But I kept, focusing on, let's do this and let's throw this technique and all that. And that aha of, we got to focus on what's right about people. Well, I wasn't trained to do that. And I had no real map for that. And I just knew deep in my soul that this is what was needed. It was needed in my own personal experience and with my clients and in my business model as well. And so then it was right about the time that you had your human design work done. And you were like, you should check this out. Right. And at first I looked at it and I was like, this is crazy shit. Like, what is this? Like, it's birthday. Okay. And I love all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I am as woo as they get, but there was something about it that just deeply resonated with me. And I subsequently got my own session, my analysis done, and then started studying it. And I've been studying it for a little over 5 years now, and doing hundreds and hundreds of sessions with people. And it is incredible. And this year I'm doing through the BG5 Institute, a full year certification in applying human design to business. And that now the information is like, what? I didn't even know that was possible. That's so cool. But the main thing that's been really fun for me is here I have a map that shows people what's right about them. And all that shit that I tried to fix in the past, I realize now why I couldn't, because it's inherent in my design. It's not about fixing anything. It's about recognizing our gifts and our challenges. And they're like gift and challenge. They go together. And when you're in alignment, you're using the gift. And when you're out of alignment, you're usually in the challenge. And that paradigm is just made such a huge difference I swear it saved my marriage. It makes me a better parent. It makes me more money, business, all of it is just like you said, it's just changed my life in so many different ways. So yeah, I geek out on it. Totally.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, so I love that story, of course. And I love really that you were trained to diagnose what's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you went, something just isn't sitting right with me about that. And then you found this amazing tool that makes it easy to know what's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And also where our beliefs come from. I mean, this is huge. I can look at a design and go map fears, map the beliefs. And when you understand that some of those things are inherent in the design, that there are core beliefs that are inherent in the design. When you understand that, you can discern between, this is a belief that I have to do a bunch of work around versus, that's just part of the design. And I have an awareness now when that pops up, I'm not going to give more energy to it than I need to. And that again, like as a psych major, as a person who's, that's what we do as coaches and consultants and all of that. We do a lot of belief work, and I still do, but I'm able to now go, well, that's a belief that, that's some
you're not going to transform.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's going to be there, and it's something you got to work around. But then there's tons out there that we've experienced growing up and all of that that pull us in, and the design will pull us in certain ways too. And just having that awareness to tease it apart a little bit more has been really,
what do you
really
mean
powerful.
when you say pull us in?
Well, we get like the shadows that are inherent in our design. So, for instance, I could look at someone who says, well, I grew up, you talk a lot about proving, right? And this proving energy really is in the mind. And especially if you have an open mind center, ajna center, or conceptualization function in the career design, the BG5 terminology. The one thing I like about the BG5, I'll say this, is that it's much more it's less esoteric and much more grounded. Like you have a
What does
mind
BG
function.
stand for? What's that?
Base group 5, which is that, it's like this whole, it all works on small groups. Like how are you in small groups and in larger groups?
Cool.
So as a retreat leader, right, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really amazing. But so coming back to that, we have, the mind wants to prove, especially if it's open, if it's undefined or white. And so we can tend to get pulled in and feel like we have to convince and prove. An undefined heart center, again, very much about proving. So if you have a lot of stories around that, which I do and did, I can look now in the design and go, that's how I'm kind of designed to actually go there. Not everybody is, their story's going to show up in a different way. Okay. So it's not knowing how to trust their authority, their intuition is going to pull you into proving. So, yeah.
Okay. So I feel like we got to take a step up to, if someone doesn't know human design, they've never heard of it. What's like the quick overview? I know it's not quick. Yeah. But what's the overview of human design? And also, do you have a site you recommend for getting their report?
Definitely. Yeah. So if you think about human design takes, like the DISC and the Myers-Briggs and all of those things, great. They have great information. They're subjective. So it's all about, how do you feel most of the time and that. And they can be, is how accurate is that? They can give us some information, but human design looks at 3 objective points of data: your time of birth, the date of birth, and the location of your birth. So in that respect, it pulls in astrology. But we're looking also at the I Ching and the Kabbalah and quantum physics and genetics. I mean, and the chakra system, all of these things in one system. And with that, we have a very clear, definite map or unique map of how your energy shows up in the world. You say this all the time, and it's all about energy, right? Yeah. And how we're showing up. We can be saying all the right things, but if energetically we're not in alignment with it, people are going to be like, I don't buy it, right? This shows us the map of how our energy is shared with the world, how it's received, how we best work, what kind of business model do we need to be in? Not everything works for everyone. And so you're going to have different types will run their retreats a little bit differently so that they're working at their maximum potential. And all of those things are in the design, and we get very, very specific about that.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So if someone wants to get their design for the first time, obviously I recommend they book a reading with you, which they can do on your site, but there's lots of sites that give free reports. Which one do you prefer?
Right now, I love Jovian Archive. So it's Jovian Archive. And they are the these are the people that really, this is his place, right? He's no longer with us, but that site is all about human design, and they are kind of the main headquarters. There's lots of other sites that are great too, but they're wonderful. BG5 Institute is related to Jovian Archive, and they do a little bit more of the career design overview, like I do. Yeah. And then I will soon be offering, once I can download the software, I'm running a Mac, so I need to configure it so I can do it, but I'll soon be able to offer those printouts and longer ones and stuff like that on my own website. But right now I don't have it yet. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, I will say, as someone who has my mind and crown filled in, I'm a thinker. I like to know why, all of that.
Yeah.
And I asked when I did my reading, I asked about a dozen questions in different ways to really get but how? What does this have to do with your parents and your DNA? It's just,
Right. Yeah.
I was born in the same hospital at the same time with other kids with different parents. And how does this work? And then I just was like, who cares? It has changed my life. It's very accurate. So, and I have all my clients do it. And, I'm not certified. I don't have the level of knowledge that Kris has. And I see clients' life like totally
Oh,
mind blown. Like it really
yeah.
makes a difference. So I
Yeah.
can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
that, Kris, what kind of information can we learn from our design?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I actually,
Do you want to talk a little bit more about the
yeah,
overview
I
first?
do. I
Okay.
do. So, there's I actually have a handout that is something for everybody. And this kind of goes to, we were talking a little bit about an experiential component, but I'll bring it in now. It's called the Align Your Design Type Mantras. And
Okay,
I
great.
have and I'm looking down a little bit because I'm reading it on the screen here. So I'll try to
Yeah,
look up. So I'm
awesome.
not, but, so there's a mantra, a success mantra that sort of takes
So
in.
if we're going
Oh,
to
go ahead.
talk about that, let's
Yeah.
let them know, because if people are listening and you
Oh,
happen
yeah.
to be
And they're
at a
like,
computer, you can go grab it
yeah,
right now. So you
yeah,
can get
exactly. So
that at
it's
Kris Prochaska.
Yep.
Oh, go
Hmm.
ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, krisprochaska.com/Darla. And you can download that.
And Kris is spelled
Yeah.
KrisProchaska.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Darla. So yeah, so grab that. It's got your success mantra that helps you to stay in alignment, but there's 3 of the 16 keys to your design, or success codes. So in the design, the success codes, they're amazing. So I'll just go over a few of them, like how do you best express yourself in the world? How do you best interact with others? Your authority or decision-making strategy. Of course, this is essential. Like if you get nothing else, just practice that over and over again. How do you process information? Are you somebody who needs to be with other people to process information, or do you do it on your own? This is huge, especially like get this in retreats. They're going to do things differently. Some move really, really fast and hate being in a group. So how do you structure it so that you can allow those people to process what they need, while there's other people who take a long time to process stuff and they need a lot of input? What work setting do you work in best? Solo, partnership, as part of a team? What business skills do you bring to the table, like the accounting and organization and being a team player? Are you designed to be a team player? Not everybody is. I'm not, but I get pulled into groups because I have these team business skills that pull me into working in groups. And so being aware of that and understanding that, now I know what's a distraction and where I could be a contribution. Your shadows, we talked a little bit about that with the mind, right? Improving. This is huge because, and I'm actually doing a certification in this as part of this larger thing on your profit potential in your shadows. Our shadows are where our profit is. It's amazing. It's like, oh my God, no way. The thing we struggle with the most, we actually have the most wisdom in when we are aware of how that works. So how do you express your purpose in the world? I mean, oh my gosh, like, do you belong in a large business? Or, like a huge corporation? Is that where you actually are suited best to work? And so I know there's a lot of people that probably come to you like they're going, oh my God, I've been in corporate forever and I hate it and I want out. And then there's some who are just like, but I keep getting pulled back into that. Great, cool. Let's look at how you can maximize that with the retreat work that you're doing and the consulting that you're doing. So that's just a few of them. There's 16 of them.
Yeah, I'm sure
I mean,
everybody's like, wait,
oh my
I'm going to know all these.
I
Too
know.
much,
Oh
too
my
much.
God. It's
Yeah.
truly remarkable. And then under each of those, there's the individuality really starts to shine, because you and I might have the same gate number or trait number, let's say 48. I don't know if you have that, but we have a different line. And
I
so
don't know.
we're going to have a different I know, we're like, pull it out. Let's look at our charts. Yeah, but just how we show up in the world with that specific skill is going to determine our genius. And how that relates to retreats and our work as consultants and coaches is that when we know what that is, like there's no comparison anymore. There's no need to compare yourself to anybody else. Oh, am I as good as them? Da, da, da. When you're in a group, you can discern, oh, that's their stuff. This is my stuff. This is what I can stand in.
Yeah.
This is who I am and what I bring, in a way that is just unlike anyone else. You could have two generators leading retreats, and they're both going to bring something totally different. Not just because of your past experiences, but because your design is different. Energetically, you're going to light stuff up in your people that are going to activate things for them and allow them to get greater clarity. And that's the gift, that you just be walking in the room. You don't even have to open your damn mouth, and you're already transforming, right?
So Kris, can you talk a little bit, because you said light stuff up in people, and it took me a while to put the pieces together around also why retreats are so effective. I believe they're super effective in terms of healing shame, because we can share and go, oh gosh, people still love me. I'm not a horrible person. Other people have a similar experience. Maybe I'm really okay. And we can, really shift that quickly. But there's so much more to it when you start to look in human design. So there's this idea of, things being colored in or defined, and then things being open or not colored in. And there's all these channels, like if we should have really had a chart to hold
I know,
up.
Yeah. Maybe we'll attach one to the show notes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's all these different channels and centers. And so if talk about, if they're open, what does that mean? And if they're fixed, what does that mean? And I'm going to see if I'll just show an example here.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Here, I'll show
Awesome. There's your design. It's so funny. I see people's designs. I've seen so many of them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that design. It's so funny. I forget people's names all the time, but their design I remember.
Like, oh, I know you.
I know. It's very funny. After doing it enough, that's what's happening to my brain. But okay, so defined, undefined. Think of it this way. It's like a circuit board. You just saw that Darla's image, right? And it shows you, think of it like this, that the energy is flowing consistently 24/7 in everything that's colored in. And then everywhere that is not colored in, we seek other designs to fill those in, literally to complete us. And so the white centers are where our shadows lie. Those are the places where we're trying to make hookups and get turned on energetically by others so that we can have greater awareness of ourselves. And so when we're looking at this in terms of what happens in a group setting, is that when Darla walks into the room, that's the energy she brings, everything that's colored in, like her crown, her mind, her G center. I mean, she is a person who knows who she is and where she's going. She's able to bring clarity with people, help them to understand that clarity. Mine is undefined. I'm going to do that in a different way. I'm going to do that. Mine's white. That yellow diamond is what I'm referring to in the center of the chest right now. So the way Darla and I are going to do that is very different. I'm going to do that from a place of mirroring back to them and reflecting back to them. Is that who you really want to be? Is that really, really true for you? Because I'm having a reaction over here in my body because of that. Whereas you are going to be like, I'm able to turn that on in people so that they have access to that clarity, right? It's different the way it works.
Yeah.
Neither is better than the other. They're just different. And so understanding that is really cool, because then you start to go, well, this is what I bring to the world. And this is how my system, whatever that is, right? That I create, it's playing on my strengths. It's allowing me to stand in the room and recognize that, when you're in a room with Darla, you're going to get turned on in a really specific, consistent, baby. Wow. And then when you're in a room with me, or when you're in a room with your clients, like that, we're literally completing each other's designs, and we have access to different aspects of ourselves when we're together.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. It's so cool.
Yeah. I'll give the example, Kris, of so this one I'm seeing
the
a glare.
emotion.
This one right here.
Yeah.
The I think it's the heart, right?
Heart, yes. Willpower.
Which is around knowing what you want, which mine is white, which means when I'm alone, I don't know what I want.
Right.
And a lot of people have this, I've learned.
Yeah,
but,
the majority of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Which means, most coaching exercises start with make a list of what you want.
Yeah.
What you desire, right?
Right.
And then we don't know. And so we make some shit up, but it's not authentic necessarily. And then before you know it, you're crying in front of the room.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And so what I've learned about that is I need other people and I need to put myself in experiences to see what I want and recognize it.
Yes.
And once I recognize it, then I have to trust it. And sometimes it's super weird. Like, I really want to, go to some random place that, like, where did that come from? Yes, I want to go there. Mm-hmm. I was just in the desert there's a thing called the Integratron, which is a sound.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
That was supposedly downloaded by aliens. I heard about it. I was like, I want to go there. Right. And it's like unreasonable. Like I'm going there. So,
but this is a good point. I want to say something like this is how our authority works in conjunction with this. So I don't know. I'm the same way. I don't know what I want until it's in front of me, until I'm going, yeah, I want that. I see it. I've heard of it. It's coming to me. And you and I both have sacral authority. So what then is our sacrum is going, I have energy for that. That's going to bring me more energy. That I'm attracted to that. And the key with the authority is discerning, am I just attracted to it because my gut says, ooh, that looks cool? Or is it something for me to actually do? And then, so there's like these different awarenesses and,
awesome. So we've talked about the centers, which are these, the colored shapes. And then there's these channels and gates that connect them. Yep. And that when we're in a group, we get more things lit up. So we have access to more things, maybe access to more ideas, access to our truth, access to, for me, my throat is open. Yeah. So like for me, doing this is awesome because I get to, be with you and have a conversation. Sitting home alone, writing content.
So hard.
I can do it. I've trained myself to, but it's not my best work. It just isn't. And so knowing that, I can stop doing that. When I do a course, I get people together live and do it on video rather than when I created a whole curriculum sitting behind my computer, miserable every day. Like, I got to go talk to myself again. Right.
Yes.
So knowing that makes a huge, huge difference. And knowing that, and a lot of retreat leaders, in my opinion, have that where it's so much easier. I could go lead a retreat for 3 days with very little preparation, but to do something home alone is like, no.
Oh my God, I know. Believe me. I'm the same way.
It gives us so much information about how to design how we work. And then you talked about the authority. So talk a little bit about what's your authority and
your authority. So, the book that I wrote about trusting your inner voice, that's where it started, was how do I trust my intuition and why don't we? And then human design, again, it was sort of like, there's a lot out there. A lot of people say, well, trust your gut. Well, guess what? Yes, about 70% of the population has their sacral or gut center, the red square in Darla's chart there, have that defined. That makes us a generator or builder type, generator, manifesting generator, or builder class, express builder in the BG5 terminology. And so we have that, but then you have a whole nother segment of people who have their emotions, the emotion. You and I both have that white. That's the triangle that's white in your design, right below the heart center that we just talked about. And so our authority is really kind of how our inner voice talks to us. What is our authority? For the most part, growing up, we were all given an outer authority, right? Our parents, teachers, whatever, the clergy, whatever it is, an organization, the government says, this is how you're supposed to be. And so we just did that. And we were like, well, this doesn't quite feel right, but I'm supposed to do it. So I'll do it. And we are moving into a paradigm, it's beyond a paradigm. It is the evolution of human beings out of a tribal, outer authoritative way of being in the world and understanding ourselves to an individual one where we are here to manage ourselves and follow our own authority, our own truth. And our authority is how we do that. So some people, they have to get emotional clarity. Some people, it's their sacral. Some people have this instant splenic.
Sacral meaning gut.
Feel, or you have this splenic awareness, which is just like, it's an instant knowing, and it's super quiet. Some people have to hear themselves talk. And then they know what their truth is based on what they're saying, what they hear themselves saying. Some people, and they're very, very small percentage, I know you have at least one of these in your tribe, is reflectors, and they have to wait 29 days to get clarity. I mean, wow. But there's a way they can do that and understand the rhythms. It's not a total crapshoot. There's actually cool ways that they can learn to follow the way the moon moves through their gates and channels in their design. So,
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, so the reflector type is very rare, and I have
1%,
a client right now who's a reflector. My first one, I called Kris. I'm like, could you do a reading? Because I need to learn about that.
Yeah, and that's so fun.
But a lot of challenges.
Yeah,
when you have to really, tune in over time.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel grateful to be a gut.
Well, we live in
even though I don't always hear it, I don't always listen. Sometimes my ego makes me fussy, but
yeah, totally. And that's all part of it. It's like learning that and working with that over time. You really start to get that discernment of, oh, this is my gut, or versus, like last week or 2 weeks ago, we came back from a long trip, and I was like, my hair was about 6 inches longer, and I was like, I just need to cut, and my regular person was available. So I called some random person at a Veda salon, and I made the appointment because I was like, I just need this dead stuff cut off, right? And I walk in, and I saw her, and my spleen and my sacrum were like, no. And then I overrode it because I was like, well, I really need this appointment. I just walked in. She looked at me. I'm like, what do I say? No, I don't like the way you look. But it wasn't about the way she looked. It was my whole being knew this is not going to be good. I'm getting it fixed later today. Let's put it that way, right? Like I knew this isn't right for me, but I overrode it because of all these constructs.
Right.
That's impolite. Oh, I can't be impolite, or, this is, and that was my design saying, this is not right for you. Do not do this. This is not what your body wants. This won't work out. So we do that all the time. So we still have, and now I go, oh, that's right. I've had that feeling before. Oh, cool. Okay. Now, catalog that. And that's our work, is to do that.
That's amazing. So Kris, what types you talked about the different authorities. Yeah. So there's the gut, the spleen, the emotions, the
gut, spleen, emotions, self,
hearing it.
Yeah. The self and the mind. So the mind is a terrible place to make decisions. We're not designed to make decisions in the mind, but some people only have the mind and the crown defined. They don't have anything else below that. And so for them, it looks like a mind authority, but it's really, they have to hear themselves talking and bouncing ideas. And that's how they know what they think is true for them. And then they have the self center, the yellow diamond. They're minority, but they're too, that they hear themselves talking and they're like, that's true for me. I know what's true for me through that expression. And they're just here to, as well as the reflectors with that lunar thing, is just, you need sounding boards to talk it out. And just not anybody is going to tell you, oh, you should do that, you should do it, but more like, just let me talk about it.
Yourself.
And you need to hear yourself. Yeah. So, yeah.
Which is like, I feel like I have some of that too, or at least I can hear my gut when I say something out loud and my gut goes, nope, you're lying. You're
Right.
bullshit.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But I
Exactly.
feel it in
Exactly.
my gut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But
Which is why we need people. We need
we need
coaches. We need
people.
community. We need to hear ourselves. So
And that's the
important.
benefit of a retreat, and I think that's really huge as a retreat leader, understanding that that's just innate. That's what's built into the retreat. You don't even have to do anything, right? Like it works. That's what's so cool about having a room full of people together. The downside of that sometimes, though, is that I know for myself, having a lot of open centers, I can really take in the conditioning of other people. You brought up a really great point earlier about that heart center being open. It's like, what do you want? And I'll find myself, if I'm in a group and I'm trying to figure out what I want and I have to write it down. So I'm in my head, but I'm in a group. Sometimes I'll write down what other people are saying. And then, they'll say it and I'm like, oh, I wrote that down too. But I'm like, is that what I really want? Or did I read your mind? Literally read your mind, read the energy in the room. And so that's where that, like, then taking it back a step and going, okay, cool, I wrote all this, but is it what's really true? And so for some people, being in a group is actually more overwhelming. They get more confused than when they're alone. And that is something that I've learned to discern for myself. When is the group helping me to get clarity, and when am I actually getting muddier because of it? And what do I do to get myself back on track? And so again, that can be helpful if you're a person who loves to go to retreats and gets a ton out of them, and you can get more out of it. And then if you're a retreat leader, kind of understanding that and sort of being able to read the room and know.
And not get attached, right? Like I think something I've grown into is not being attached to the person having the transformation in the room, or making a decision in the room, or knowing, getting clarity in the room. And I think because I do have that, the middle one, the diamond, people do tend to get clear pretty quickly around me, which is great. Yeah. But just everybody's got their different groove and their different pacing. And so we can't be attached as a retreat leader to it looking a certain way, or looking the way it looks when you're an attendee of a retreat.
Right, exactly.
Because you do have all the different energies, and we'll tend to attract people similar to us a lot of times. In certain ways, but they might be similar, like I might have someone who's similar, like they're a 6'2" and I'm a 6'2". But everything else is different, So you're going to have this variety, and just being okay with it not looking the way that it would look if it were you in there.
Exactly. Like you and I are both generator or classic builder types, and our designs look very, very different. And yet we share some of the strengths or channels and gates and our authority, but we have different profiles, all of that. And so we are, that's what's so cool about it. Like you can say, well, there's general information for builders, generator types, but you're gonna express it in a different way. But there's certain things that we all need as builder types to remember and to follow, and strategies that for success that will help us. They're simple. They're very simple. They don't. When you see it, you're like, oh my God, I've done that before and it did work. And but I've done all these convoluted things to get myself not working because I thought I had to be like them or whatever.
So Kris, what types are ideally suited for leading retreats?
I would say any type can lead a retreat. Okay. So first of all, anyone can, because I have had clients that are all types that have done it. It's interesting because reflectors, as rare as they are actually really well suited to work in groups. And because what they're doing is literally they have their whole chart is white except for the gates. So they don't have any connected lines, and all the centers are white. And they're about 1% of the population. And they're here to reflect back to us who we are and to help us get clear in that way. And so they can move into a group and read the energy of the group and reflect back to people. I mean, just there's so much wisdom in all of those centers. But they have to have really clear boundaries, and it has to be the right group and the right setting for them. You know, these are the types of things that they got to really consider. If they go into a room that they're just like, this doesn't feel healthy, they're not going to be able to bring their best self. Right. So the environment.
The more open your chart is, the more discerning you need to be about who gets in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. And then projectors are, I mean, they're our advisors, they're guides, they're amazing at that. And yet at the same time, they're really good one-on-one. They do really nice work one-on-one because of this whole needing to be recognized and invited. So, and invitations come and go. They come and go pretty quickly. And so you might have a room full of people who are like, oh, we want to see you. And then they shut down the invitation. It's just, yeah, there's
so
like all these
So if you're in a group and someone gets triggered, they're shutting down the invitation now.
Yeah, they might. Yeah. Okay. And,
which, by the way, is going to happen.
It's going to happen. Exactly. So again, though, as the projector advisor, I'm just going to call you advisors because I love that so much better than projector. Who knows what a projector is? That seems so weird, right? But advisor really speaks to what you do. And that understanding that dynamic can allow you then to stop and then be the invitation back for them, right? To step into something else. But it's so subtle. Like you and I as generator type, we might be able to cut right through that and bring some energy, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't have that. They're not going to have that same ability unless it's invited or recognized. And so in a group that can move quickly, right? So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, again, be aware of what are the things in your design that you can really anchor yourself into. Manifestors, I don't tend to see them as much in retreats because they're like, I'm going this way. I want to go do it. And if you guys can't keep up, like, fuck all y'all, like, sorry to tell you, and they mean that. They have the biggest hearts, and they have, I mean, so much compassion and want to help people and all of that. So don't get me wrong when I say that, but they're kind of like, are we all go, like, let's move, let's go, they're here to initiate. So they're probably really good at like kind of getting things going and started, but they may not necessarily want to be doing it for that longer term because they don't have their sacral center defined. They don't have that energy there they're more of a sprinter than, the long haul. Projectors advise. Well, let me say one thing.
Okay.
And then you can ask. So advisors, manifestors, and reflectors are non-energy types. So they're going to need a little more rest and recuperation as retreat leaders. Okay, go ask.
So reflectors, projectors, and manifestors, is that what you said?
Yeah. As not having that sacral center, that it's just going to be more helpful for them to have, pre and post within the day rests, breaks where they move away from the crowd. Their break.
So they might be more likely to bring in a guest for a certain segment. And
exactly. Break it up, have everybody go do your activity. They're going to go, discharge the energy. And then after the retreat, have at least one day, preferably a couple, to recover.
Recommend that for everybody. But
yes, well, it's true. I think for builders, and express builders, those are our generator types, we need it in a different way because we generally will just bring so much energy and then be exhausted at the end because we can keep going and going and going and going and just like, oh wait, yeah, sure, we can keep going, no problem, because we're kind of like the Energizer Bunny. So we have to be really careful on that end as well. But,
yeah, love it. So interesting. So someone who is a straight manifester, what's their best retreat approach? If they're like, I'm moving on,
yeah, right. Well, again, I think it really depends on the person, so because there's, what other things do they have to, colored in the chart? Like, what are the gifts that they're bringing? So do you have any manifestors with you right now?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And so give me an example, like, can kind of give me an example.
So a manifestor, a 6-2, defined, crowned, mind, throat, and self, and heart.
Okay,
so
yeah.
The top is all defined, the bottom is all open.
Right, yeah. So here you have somebody they have incredible amount of willpower and clarity about who they are and where they're going. And they're very, mentally, they're going to probably battle between this is what I want and this is what I think I should want. Like, with the mind getting in there.
Yep.
But they have a lot of wisdom in how are people using their energy. Are they doing things because I'll use the root center as an example. This is a person who will probably move like, oh, I got to have a lot of things on the go. I got it, because they're feeling the pressure outside of them to do things at a pace that other people want it done. Now they're already moving fast because they just sort of like, I want to do that, I'm gone. So that may or may not be an issue for them. But when they're with other people, they're going to feel that pressure even more to get busy. And they may not be clear, like, is this what I want to be getting busy doing?
Right.
So having that awareness is going to be really essential. And then, you have the sacral center undefined. So they're going to, again, be bringing in energy. The willpower, the heart center, is an energy center. That's what makes them a manifestor. It goes directly to the throat or indirectly through the self center. And so that's what makes them like able to make stuff happen, but sprinting, not long term. So I kind of see a person like that.
Programs.
Yeah, I'm seeing like shorter programs, sort of lighting a fire, getting people moving, initiating something, and then maybe they're the person who does in a longer term, or they partner possibly, depending on if they really want to work with other people. It could be that they could be someone who maybe partners who's a longer term implementer because they've already moved on, right? So again, I think it really though depends on like, what does this person want? Do they want to spend more time with people? Do they want to work with people in that way? If they do, awesome, go for it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk again about the PDF and the mantra and why does a mantra help? And then we'll remind people how to get it. But having that mantra to help really guide your decisions, how is that important?
Yeah, cool. So let's use the advisor as an example. And where's the little, my mantras are not showing up. Hold on one second. Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom of my screen. So with the advisors, their
which
mantra,
is the projector for people who don't know this new language.
Exactly. Yeah. So their mantra is, I succeed when I go where I am wanted and appreciated. Another way of saying is, I succeed when I go and work with people who want me, but not necessarily need me, right? Where I go where I'm wanted, not needed. Because the thing is with an advisor projector is that they have to be invited and acknowledged, right? There's a ton of need out there. And they're standing there. They're the advisor. They're the guide. They can see what needs to shift. Where's somebody out of alignment? What's working? What's not working? All of these things. That's part of who they are. That's what they're here to do. But if they're not invited to give that, then what happens is they'll either be rejected, right? Or people be like, who asked you? Not me. Like, go away. And they'll feel that bitterness of like, oh my God, what am I, sliced bread? Like nobody cares what I have to say. But so there's clearly need out there. But if they're not like if somebody says, well, I really want to work with you. And I've had clients who say, I was invited to do this thing. Well, just because you received an invitation doesn't mean it's good for you. So that's where your authority comes in and says, yeah, because, one of my clients was doing a partnership with another person, a projector, was invited to do some stuff with a manifesting generator, express builder. And this express builder recognized her, but truly didn't appreciate her. So then what happened was the advisor is giving, but is not received. And the invitation had ended at some point in the relationship, but neither of them were aware of it. And so then it just caused this whole like kind of blow up and not good vibes right after that. And so I think really that mantra is like, oh, I'm needed here, but am I wanted here? Because if I'm not, I can't be
here in that, because so many people who want to host retreats, they're helpers, they're givers, we get trained, especially as women, that identity is based on helping and nurturing. And there's so many people that you can say, I should help this person because they need me. And I'm hearing that especially is not good for the projector.
Exactly. Especially. And then again, us builder types, right? We can, depending on our designs, you and I both have like this healer strength that's in our designs. And it's, we can, when we're clear, we just offer that stuff. Right. And so the discernment of, is this person really ready to receive it?
Yeah.
Versus, and that's a little different. Like there's no necessarily an invitation that's required for us, but we have to check our gut and go, if I give this energy or if I give this contribution, is it received, and will I not get something from it, but it's like a flow.
Integrity?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or is this draining me? And so those are things that, can really help as well. So in those mantras, like, the builder, it's like, I succeed when I notice what resonates with me before jumping in.
Yes.
And, what is really calling me? And that waiting is so essential, because as builders, we're just like, I hate waiting. I have all this energy. I want to do something with it. But if we're not clear, we'll tend to create and do all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
We're like slaves, sluts, or self-saboteurs. That's what I call the generators and builders. And I have a whole talk about that. But it's like, we'll just get stuck doing all this activity and miss the real possibility that's coming our way, or opportunity, or whatever.
Yes. I've had to learn to be a lot more patient and just wait and wait and wait. And it's like my brain goes, well, I need to make the decision. Like, how am I ever going to market the thing if I don't make the decision? I need to make the decision on this timing, but it hasn't come yet. And I've learned that if it hasn't come, then it's a no.
Then it's a no.
Let it pass.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And how much money and time and energy has that saved you? Like, it's that kind of stuff. So really just a simple thing that's a reminder of like, it's okay to wait. You're not, an analogy I use is with baseball, like builders, we're like batters, right? So the manifestor is like a pitcher. They're pitching, they're initiating the game, and their energy is like that too. It comes at us like a ball coming at 90 miles an hour. And so as the batter, if we swing at everything, and nowadays we have emails, we have ideas, we have balls coming from every angle. If we're constantly swinging and not waiting for that clarity, whether it's through our emotions or our sacral, what happens is that we miss the ones that are really for us.
Yeah.
And we look really busy and we look like we're getting a lot done, but nothing's happening. And that just builds that frustration. And so there's a way to, train yourself to be in that nice, receptive, waiting stance. You're doing something, but it's not,
right.
You're not just doing stuff to do stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously there's so much depth
here.
Oh
my God, I know.
We could possibly cover But again, krisprochaska.com/Darla.
Yeah,
and you can get the mantras. You can go get your report at Jovian Archives. And I always send my clients to humandesignforusall.com.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
And get your design, get the mantras. And really, even if you just know that piece, it'll make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
So Kris, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance here. And I would love to chat all day, but really guys, go get on Kris's, list. If you opt in, you'll get on her list. You'll get to learn a lot more as she continues to share, how to align your design with your business model and with the way that you market. It's so important.
Yeah.
We're all unique. There is no one size fits all formula. Even within the formula, there's different ways to apply it that really work for you. So take ownership of that and take the next step.
Awesome. Thanks, Darla. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kris.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's Darla here. Whether you're listening to this episode because you're ready to host your very first transformational retreat, or because you're already hosting retreats and you want to make them infinitely more profitable and life-changing, there's one thing you need to know. You are literally inches away from the game-changing retreat concept that will rock your world. I'm talking about more money, more transformation, and the deeper, more grounded business you dream of. I want to see you get your aligned and profitable retreat idea dialed in and ready to deliver. That's why, after delivering my own retreats for 8 years and working with clients to create their rich retreats, I'm hosting a free interactive workshop where you can refine your retreat idea and receive my personal feedback on your offer, so you can bring your retreat to the world with confidence. The workshop is called Pitch Me Your Retreat. It's happening in just a few weeks and it's going to be incredible. And I know it's going to be incredible because, well, this idea literally jolted me out of bed one morning. What's the best way to make these life-changing retreats happen? Roll up our sleeves and dig right in. If you want my guidance to get clear on your retreat idea, I can spot a winning aligned vision and gaps in strategy super quickly. Here's what to do. Hop on over to pitchmeyourretreat.com. Register to pitch me live and receive laser coaching around your retreat. Or you can register and listen in to the guidance I give others. Oh, and I love games, so there are also prizes to be won. I know Spirit is guiding this workshop as we shift the world one transformational retreat at a time, together. Hop over to pitchmeyourretreat.com now to sign up.